is a show that focuses on the person behind the Brony. I'm your host, Osaka Jack. Please sit back and relax as we talk to this week's guest Brony. Hello everyone, this is Osaka Jack with Into the Spotlight on Everfree Network. With me today I have someone who's probably the most difficult name I've had to pronounce so far, EmR0304, or EmR0304, or just M. Hello.
Hello. Yeah,
you
I know
today?
it's complicated. I'm good. That's all I could think of when I made my DeviantArt. I was like, just throw my name in there.
I don't know. It could sound like the robotic unit from RoboCop, ED209.
Yeah. I guess I just wasn't creative when I made it. I was under so much pressure. It's like, I gotta make it. I get it. Okay, it's my name. So that's how that came about.
Good enough. I've encountered people with worse names who are just like, is that your name? Yes, it's my name. I chose it when I was in 5th grade. Okay.
Yeah.
I suppose that's an advantage of joining DeviantArt later, is I had time to think about my name.
Yeah.
Though, to be honest, I've mentioned it before, on DeviantArt, if you want, you can change your name, you can change your address, you can change your gender, but you can't change your birthday.
Really?
DeviantArt won't let you change your birthday, which makes me
I
a bit
did not know
regretful that I kind of fibbed to them on when my birthday was.
that.
Because now I get birthday messages, I'm like, no, thank you, but no.
I thought about changing my name, but then I don't know what I would change it to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't have like a cool little nickname that everyone called me, and I'm not like creative enough to come up with something cool. So I guess for now it's just gonna stay this.
Let's see. Well, let's see. If we change EMR to MR and then Mr. No, okay.
Yeah, Mister.
Mr.
I'd have to
03.
change my
Mr.
gender.
03. Okay. Never mind. Well, if anybody's not familiar with your work, could you do a little description? What do you do?
Well, I hand sculpt a lot of ponies, and I also customize the Hasbro toys a lot.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people know them as just the Walmart toys. The little blind bags are about like an inch or so tall in different positions, and
Sure.
the Hasbro ones are like 3 or 4 inches. They're
Oh, the
little head
brushables?
turns stuff. Yeah, the ones that have brushable hair.
Right, okay.
And then also the like big ones with the brushable hair. I also customize those, and then I sculpt ponies and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. I'm curious, have you had any requests to work with like the giant, like New Year Pinkie Pie?
I haven't had a request to
Okay.
work with a giant one yet. Anyone commission me? I actually just made one. I made Coco Pumalo,
All right.
and yeah, that's up on my DeviantArt. I made her the other day, and they're really fun to do that big. I mean, you can really get a lot of details into them, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that her eyes turned out like the best out of a lot of my ponies, so they're really fun to do.
Very true. Yes. Man, I can appreciate how easier they are to work with, but man, that's a big pony, and I just
Yeah,
don't
it
have
is.
the space in my apartment.
I know. I finished it and I went to put it up on my shelf where I keep all my other ones that I have either for sale or that, I'm just keeping for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I put her up there and she takes up like so much of the shelf. I'm like, I gotta find somewhere else for her to sit for now. She's way too big up there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would actually have to install some new shelves if I wanted a pony that large,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure where I could
Yeah.
put them. Hmm. But no, yeah, you do custom work, and what got you started into that?
Well, I am 20 years old now, but when I was still in school, when I was like 18, I think,
Hmm.
I was home from school for about like 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks sick. And
Oh.
that's how I got into the My Little Pony because I didn't have anything to watch on TV. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll watch this My Little Pony.
Mm-hmm.
And then I really got into it and I started seeing a lot of like the customized ponies, like on just Google, even just seeing like the customized ones. And I was like, these look really cool. Like, I really want to try these. So I
Mm-hmm.
tried my first one, which was a Fluttershy, just a Hasbro toy.
Sure.
I was like, okay, well, that was super fun and it, gave me something to do. So I did one every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then after I graduated, my grandpa passed away, so
Oh,
I
I'm
needed,
sorry.
something to do.
Right.
So that's when I did a lot of my work. And then I, just from other artists seeing their sculptures, and I was like, well,
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if I can do that too. So I started sculpting, and I just haven't stopped.
Oh, okay. What are your choice materials to work with? I assume
Well,
silly putty and X-Acto knives.
I
Oh, okay.
I do like X-Acto knives. They
Oh,
are
okay.
very helpful. Yes. I use Super Sculpty and
Okay.
Super Sculpty Firm. I just started using the Firm though from just picking up tips from other sculptors,
Mm-hmm.
artists. So I am new to that still, but I do use a lot of Super Sculpty. That's like basically what all my sculptures are.
Mm-hmm.
I use my fingers most of all for just smoothing. I use a couple little just wooden tools that you get like in a cheap little set.
Mm-hmm.
And rubbing alcohol actually works really good to help smooth out the clay and get bumps out and stuff. So I do use that too.
Okay. All right. Oh. So not that elaborate of a setup.
No, not really. I can fit all of my materials pretty much on my kitchen table,
Oh, wow. Okay.
except my paint. All my paint I can't fit on my table, but
Mm-hmm.
my materials I have, a handful of like different little wooden shapers, and I have a clay roller, and then just rubbing alcohol and Q-tips, and that's pretty much it.
Oh, okay. So a very basic setup, but seems to work for you. So that's good.
Yeah. Yep.
What has been one of the more complicated ones that you've done?
Oh wow. I made a sculpture a little while ago of a stallion like trotting. He was one of my own OC ponies, but after a little while of him sitting on my shelf, I didn't really care for it anymore.
Okay.
So, yeah, I just for the sculpture in general, like I just kept looking at all of its flaws and all the things that were wrong and all the things that I could do a lot better on because it was the second one I ever sculpted.
Okay.
And this was like less than a month ago. I was like, I know that I can improve on it. So I kind of took it apart a little bit and I redid it and I turned it into Shining Armor,
Mm-hmm.
trotting with his armor on and his guard uniform. And that one was pretty complicated because he's pretty heavy and
Sure.
armor on ponies is so hard to do. It's
Mm-hmm.
to get all those little details. And well, I'm also working on one right now that I have as a commission. It's a Scootaloo on a scooter, and
Oh,
she's
okay.
like skidding across the dirt.
Okay. Okay.
And the scooter was complicated to get to stay together. And then the commissioner wanted like actual dirt, like looking, like spraying up, like she's like sliding.
Okay.
So that was hard to do. I'm still working on that. It'll probably be done this week, I'm hoping.
Right.
But that one was pretty complicated too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's the armor always looks good on the ponies, but if anybody's ever tried to actually put it on or take it off, it just doesn't work very well.
Yeah, it's so hard. It looks awesome. It does. It's
Mm.
it's really cool, but you try to get like in between the legs to paint the armor, and then you get paint on the legs, and then you gotta go back and paint the legs, and then it's just never ending.
Right. Yeah.
It's
What is the? How long does it usually take you to finish up one of these sculpts?
well, usually if it's not like overly like elaborate with a bunch of accessories and stuff, it usually
Mm-hmm.
takes me anywhere from 12 to 20 hours depending on the complexity of the pony.
Sure.
So I usually take about like a week or two, kind of give myself extra time in between there. I usually don't set a date because I hate like having that you know
Deadline.
deadline coming
Right.
up and stuff.
Sure. Sure.
But most commissioners are pretty understanding about time frame, and
Mm-hmm.
people do have a life, and things get
Yes,
in the
this
way
is true.
and stuff. So yeah, so it usually takes me 12 to 20 hours altogether from start to finish.
Okay. Yes, I mention it often. If you commission an artist and you put a deadline on there, then you're commissioning something that is not going to be their best.
No, it's going to be rushed, and it's not fun having that pressure on
Yeah.
you. knowing that you have 2 days to pull this off, so go, and you slap it together, and then they're like, well, what happened? And you're like, hey, you gave me 2 days. This is what I can do in 2 days.
Yeah, yeah. Though, to be honest, there are some people who do not work unless they have a deadline, so go ahead and give them
Yes,
one, just don't necessarily make them stick to it, is my point.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of things come up. When I commission things from people, I never set a deadline because people could end up, having to do something with their real life job or, even end up in the hospital. So it's not like you want to put a date like that on something.
Mm-hmm. Well, and speaking of that, hospital, recently you've had some not niceties.
Yes, that's one of the reasons why I brought that's one of the reasons why I said that I had a couple commissions, and then all of a sudden I had to be in the hospital for a little while, so wasn't able to work on anything.
Yeah.
But hopefully all that is over with because I had a surgery and I got it all removed and taken out. So hopefully I don't have any more problems where I need to be rushed to the hospital. And
That would be nice.
Yeah, it would be nice. They finally figured out what was wrong, though. So after
I'm
all
gonna
those
guess an
years,
alien spawn, just like
yep,
from the movies, trying to burst through your chest, and they just
yep,
caught it
they
in
got it
time.
out. I have it in a jar. Yep.
Oh, nice. That's good. Have you named him?
Oh, not yet. He's just sitting there.
Okay. Now,
But hopefully nothing else comes up because it's not fun sitting in the hospital knowing that you have stuff to do and you can't do
yeah.
it.
Yeah, I would imagine that would be really, really difficult.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, hopefully that is the road behind us at this point.
Yes, we're looking forward now, hopefully.
I'm taking a glance at just some of the customs that you've done on, I guess, the brushables. Young Cadence is
Yes.
just adorable.
Thank you.
I, I'm sorry, I'm having a difficult time. Is she one of the blind bags that's been painted over, or is she one of the brushables?
No, she is one of the brushables.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, she's got her little ponytail and her little folded in wings. She's one of the brushable sizes. I just extended her legs a little bit, so she's a little bit taller than
Okay,
a
that's
normal
what threw me
brushable.
off, I guess.
Yeah, probably.
Leg extensions. Now there's there's an elective surgery you don't want to hear very often. Hey Bob, you look taller. Why, thank you. I had a leg extension over the weekend. I have to admit, I'm totally in the dark here. On ponies, for example, like Cadence, who have the really large hair, is that stable? I mean, it you
In
said clay, and just the clay that I remember working with in elementary school would like droop and sag.
I use either a piece of wire or like half a toothpick to like
Okay.
get it to stay in her rump. But the hair usually just sticks right to the actual like back of the head of the pony.
Okay.
So that, and I always glue it down so that you don't just like flip it too hard and it comes off.
Okay.
So it's always all glued together. But usually the tail, I have like really good super glue too. So usually the tail stays in place. Sometimes with shipping,
hmm
they do get a little bit wobbly. But I mean, these aren't like to play with, they're to like set up on a
Well, yeah,
shelf. So
granted, these aren't like throw against the wall and see how many times it takes before they bend. Of
yeah,
course, no.
yeah. But usually just a little bit of super glue can fix if it's kind of wobbly or if it does come out.
hmm
And I just use a toothpick or a piece of wire for support to keep it to stay in there, and that has worked out really good so far.
Yeah, seems to. Okay, all right. Yeah, I know that's a idiotic question, but I really was like, I don't know. It looks like I'll touch it and it will fall off, especially Fluttershy.
No, no, a lot of the clay that you do work with when you're in school is like really sloppy clay, but
hmm
Super Sculpty is like really, really good clay. So I usually make the tail on a toothpick and like size it up to the body and like get it the correct look and like length. and then I take it out and bake it separately so it doesn't like sit in there, because it will like droop and like disform if it does sit in there when you bake it.
Okay.
So I usually do take it out and bake it separately, and then paint it, and then put it in and glue it so it stays.
I see. Okay. Huh. Are they waterproof? Can I use them as bath splashy toys?
You know, I have not tried that, but I would not recommend it. They are they are painted in acrylics, which kind of is like water-based. It will come off. Like it comes off my table when I paint on my table on accident. And they are sealed in a matte finish,
Okay.
but I have never put one under the water before. I'll have to try that. I will try that.
No, please don't. Don't wreck don't wreck a potential sale just for my curiosity. That would be horrible.
It's my curiosity now. I am very curious now.
Oh dear. Okay. What have I wrought? Well, real fast, I just wanted to ask on Granny Smith, the Granny Smith for sale. It
Yeah.
looks like she's had a snout extension.
Yes, I did. I gave her like her little lumps in her legs and her little old lady legs, and also like gave her like a bigger mouth to make it look like Granny Smith. And well, I tried. I
Sure.
tried because I know it doesn't look the best.
Yeah.
It's okay, but I tried. That was a long time ago.
For some reason, and I'm not sure why on this, but a lot of artists that I see, Granny Smith is one of the first ones they try. It seems to be like main six. They'll do a few main six, and then they'll do a Granny Smith, and I'm not sure why.
The main six are pretty basic. They're, I mean, Pinkie Pie, for your first one's kind of complicated with the curly hair, but you can do it. And Twilight, with her curling bangs and the horn, but then you're just like, oh, I need to do a background pony or like a secondary character. You're like, Granny Smith. It's just.
I mean, I adore Granny Smith. Tabitha does a fabulous job. Just, it seems to be a very prevalent. Let's do this right after the main six, which is shocking.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even think I completed the main six. I think if you like look through my customs, I don't even think I have an Applejack or a rarity. I think I tried to do a rarity and I just couldn't get the tail, and I was like, whatever, I'll just make a different pony out of it. And then Applejack the hat is just really hard, and I was like, how many people are going to be mad if I post her without a hat? So
this is true. This is true.
I think I did like Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie, and then I started doing like background and secondary characters.
There's a Twilight as well.
Yes, I did a Twilight. I think I did a Rainbow Dash, but I can't guarantee anything. I haven't looked through those in a while, so.
Well, you did do the Philly version of the main six.
Yes, I did the Philly versions of the main six, yes. And for some reason, Philly rarity is really easy to do, but like Mare rarity is really hard to do. So that's why there's a Philly rarity and not a Mare one.
Well, her hair does gain quite a lot of curlage when she gets older.
It's her tail. I think that I had a brushable with the like mane on it, but I just could not get the tail. I think I tried for like 2 months to get the tail, and was just like, okay, well, I'm not gonna be able to do this, so let's move on for now.
I have heard people say that the tail actually, while it looks great on the show, it does not work in the 3D world at all.
It's so hard.
Yeah. So don't get down about yourself for that. It's not personal failing.
It does look great in the show, but I mean, it just curls so weird when you try to make it in 3D, and then you like replicate the one side, and then you turn it, and it looks completely opposite of like what the other side of her tail looks like, and you're like, okay, well, I guess we'll try that again, see if it'll work this time. But her tail and Applejack's hat, I just cannot do. Right now,
I mean, a very common lament.
I'll try maybe later, but it's hard to do.
Yeah. I have no doubt. Likewise, I've heard people say that Spitfire's mane is just ridiculously hard.
I have not done a Spitfire yet.
Hmm.
but I have tried to make my own pony, which kind of has hair like Spitfire, that kind of updo.
Right.
And my pony, okay, I am ashamed, but I have not even made a sculpture of my own pony yet.
That's nothing to be ashamed of. It's yours.
I Well, I just can't get her hair right, and I don't just want to slap it together, so I'm just like, okay, I'll wait a little bit longer.
Well,
But that up kind of hair, like Spitfire's hair, it's probably Spitfire, like all of the Wonderbolts, their hair would be pretty hard to do with the updo and kind of curled back. It
yeah.
would be probably hard to do.
Well, yeah. Again, I have no idea, but it looks to me like a grown-up version of Scootaloo's hair.
I have done Scootaloo, and her hair wasn't that hard,
Hmm.
but it does kind of like go down into like a little bit of bangs in the front, which I think is easier than like the back do that like Spitfire and Soren have.
Yes, that's true.
And then they have a lot of points on their hair too, which is, another thing that adds to the time consuming and failure when you're trying to sculpt it.
Well, you mentioned it briefly, but your character, I think it's. I have to ask about it. Shimmering Shield,
Yep.
spelled E-I-L-D. Shield.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's on
I know.
purpose.
Yeah, it's accident purpose, I guess I'll
Okay,
say.
all right.
Um, I made her, I made her, like a year and a half, 2 years ago. I made her a long time ago.
Hmm.
And I'll admit, I'm not a spelling bee champion, okay? So I wrote her name. I made her and I was like, oh, Shimmering Shield. Okay, I wrote Shimmering Shield and I spelled shield wrong.
Hmm.
And I wrote it wrong on everything that I drew of her. And then I even posted it on DeviantArt wrong. And
Hmm.
then someone was finally like, do you mean shield? And they spelled it right. And I was like, well, no, you just spelled it wrong. And they were like, no, this is right. So I was like, I felt conflicted about it for a couple of days. I was like, well, should I go back and change it? But then I was like, well, no, because that's like changing her. Like her name is it's wrong. It's wrong on purpose accident because it's an accident that I spelled it wrong,
Hmm. Hmm.
but it's on purpose because I'm not changing it back. It's purposely wrong.
Okay, I'm going to give you something you can use as a story. Her name is Shimmering Shield, and it's can be used to represent the shield, but it's more important to recognize her femininity, as in
Yeah.
she.
That's what I thought when I looked at it. I was like, shield, like shield, like that's right, right? And my dad's like, no, he's like, that is wrong. I was like, well, she is a girl, so I guess it is shield like that.
I have to mention though, in one of the reference pictures that you have of her, the side view, the almost 90-degree angle that her hair takes,
Yeah.
it reminds me of Gozer. Gozer the
I,
Gozerian from the Ghostbusters movie, the final girl who appears.
yeah.
Her hair was spiked up so well and just freaking full flat top, amazing 90-degree angle. Just that one angle gives me kind of a Gozer the Gozerian feel to it.
Her hair defies gravity. I know. I've had a lot of people say that, and it. I like it like that.
No, no, I'm sorry, it wasn't meant as an insult, not at all, not at all. I
Oh
thought it was
no,
interesting.
not at
Just
all. I know. Yeah, I know. Her hair is strange. It defies gravity.
well, technically, so does she. So, hey,
Yeah,
why
she
not?
does.
If we can have
Every
Rarity's hair defy the laws of physics, then Shimmering Shield can defy the laws of gravity. That's fine.
yeah.
Sure.
Yes, she can. Mine as well. Every OC needs a story.
I actually had recently with my OC, Eureka, Mando Pony was opening up commissions for OC themes. And I took him up on it, and he asked for a general backstory on my character. I didn't have one. And
Yeah.
it wasn't that I hadn't thought about it, but actually the complete opposite. I said, well, he doesn't have a very interesting existence. There's not a lot of dramatic things that happen to him. He's good at finding things and likes walking around in the snow. And that's on purpose, because my life has so much drama in it. If I'm going to do a character, that character is going to have a nice, easy time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the reason why I made Shimmering Shield have such a extravagant, elaborate backstory, is because I, live in a small town, grew up in a small town, don't know a lot of people, kind of quiet and stuff. So I think that's why I made her so loud and outgoing and have such a big story, is because I have such a small one.
It makes sense. You don't want a character that is exactly you, because that's kind of... Some people, I'm not going to say boring, because some people might want exactly that, and okay, fine. For me, I would like a character that has something that I don't, and that is a quiet, easy life.
Yeah, I always say I mean I'm working on a pony Sona, like actually myself as a pony,
Hmm.
but I mean I can't really like imagine me using her a lot just because, I always use Shimmering Shield for everything.
Hmm.
And I mean Shimmering Shield is not my Sona, like she's not me, like I don't actually have short blue hair in real life, but
Oh,
she
goodness.
is who I would want to be if I was a pony.
Okay,
That's pretty much how I think about it.
sure. That's legitimate. I
Be-
can see that.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's why I haven't really like officially made a pony Sona yet,
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
because it's kind of like my OC is who I'd like to be. So it's, that's kind of just how I use it.
I can see that. Makes sense to me. Go with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have to admit, I was a little confused on DeviantArt where it said Giant Pony Sale. And it
Yeah.
took me a second to recognize that it was not giant ponies we were talking about. It was
Yeah. I've had a
sale was
couple
giant.
other
They were usual size ponies. Okay.
Yeah, I've had a couple other people be like, "Where's the giant ponies?" And it's like, well, I just mean that I'm generally selling like all of my ponies that I've made, and they're like, "Oh, well, it says giant ponies for sale." It's like, no,
No, it
you
doesn't say
know.
giant ponies for sale. It says giant pony sale, which could be taken either way.
Yes, I guess so.
I did mine as a joke. If somebody actually took it seriously, then that's just ridiculous.
I think that they were kind of joking about it. It's always hard to tell what people really mean when you just like read a comment because everyone reads it
Very true.
differently, but I'm pretty sure they were just joking.
Very true. Okay. We shall hope that and just go with it.
Yes.
But no, it looks like the small ones as well as the blind bags, brushables, and sculptures are open for commission, right?
Yes, I have my sculpture commissions open right now.
Okay.
I base my sculptures on a 3-inch skeleton. That's just I've drawn out a pony, and the skeleton itself is 3 inches standing on all fours.
Okay.
So that doesn't guarantee. A lot of people get this confused. I just want to clear it up. It doesn't guarantee that your sculpture will be 3 inches. If you get a pony that's standing on all fours, it'll be a little bit bigger than 3 inches because just the skeleton is three, so the clay over top of it's going to make it more.
Okay.
But if you get a pony that is standing on two legs or is floating like on its tail or something,
Hmm.
that's going to be way more than 3 inches because of the way that its body's posed. So there's a lot of confusion about that, and I don't really know any other way to clear it up, really.
Right. Right. No, I can understand. I can understand. I mean, I think you just did it right there. Yeah. It's 3 inch skeleton
Hopefully I did.
base, but depending upon the pose and the style, it can be different.
Yes, depending on pose and style, it'll
Now,
be
granted, if I
taller
order
or
something and I get like an 8 foot package arriving, I'm gonna okay, hold on.
yeah,
This is
yeah, it'll probably be wrong.
yeah, this
Something
is
went
way
wrong.
too large. No,
My pony is standing really high.
my pony takes up more space than my refrigerator. 3 inch skeleton, you said, not 3 foot.
Yeah,
Okay, just checking.
that would be pretty awesome to see that big of a sculpture, though.
Do you know how much it would cost shipping by weight? Something the
Yeah, you
size of a refrigerator.
probably wouldn't be able to ship it anywhere. It'd probably be like, come pick it up when I'm done. I was just going to talk about the brushables.
Yeah.
Because I get a lot of questions about those too. Those are just the like Walmart toys, and I just remove the hair, the mane and the tail. I remove the hair and put clay hair on and accessories if it does have them, and then paint it, put it all together and paint it, and then it's yours. So I don't know why I get a lot of confusion about that. Just like, oh, well, do you buy it with the tail already made? And a lot of people ask me like where I buy it with the hair already on it, and I have to like explain like, no, I remove the hair and then I make it myself kind of thing. But the blind bags, I just like take the mane and tail off and then just put like the clay mane and tail on. So everything's pretty much just like everything like the Hasbro toys are pretty much just like remove the hair and put hair on.
Right. Now I know some customizers do the barbaric practice of slicing their ponies' heads off. Is this something you do?
Well, I don't slice them off, but they come off themselves.
I know, I'm joking with it. I'm joking.
You can pop. I pop all the heads off because you got to get all the hair out of the inside. I know. I at one point had like 12 headless ponies sitting on my table, and like their heads when I paint their heads, I usually put it on. I put like a pencil or something inside their like the hole where their head is like goes onto their body, so that I can like paint their whole head without having fingerprints on it.
So
And
you had an entire row of heads on pikes.
Yeah, my dad is like, "What are you doing?" I was like, He's like, "Why don't these have heads on them?" I was like, "Well, you see,
Because Scootaloo is dreaming. Duh.
I'm in the middle of something, and they can't have their heads right now."
Yeah. That would be funny. Just next time you have like a half dozen heads on pikes, just take a picture of that for Nightmare Nights, and just don't release it until Halloween.
I'll take a picture of it. It's pretty funny looking because if they're being painted, they don't have any eyes or anything either, so they're like headless, like ponies with no eyes and all on sticks, and it's a nightmare.
Just put Scootaloo in the middle of it with Luna off the side, trying to tell her that it's on her head.
Yep, it's all in your head. It's not theirs. It's not their head. It's your head.
Oh my. Yeah, terrifying. Okay. Well, a question that I ask in each of my interviews, in all of My Little Pony, what would you say is the one line or one scene that defines you as a brony?
Oh, wow. That's pretty hard putting the spot on me now, huh?
Yep.
Hmm. Wow. I I don't know. I would probably have to say anything where the ponies like get ahead of themselves and are like realize like, that's not who I am kind of thing. Because I know I myself, and I think a couple, many other people have those moments where you kind of get ahead of yourself and pick up too much, like more than you can handle kind of thing.
Bite off more than
And
you can chew.
yeah.
Okay.
And then you get knocked down and you realize like, okay, I can't do all of that at once. So I I don't know. I'm the kind of person that if someone like needs something, I jump to help them.
Yeah.
So I feel like sometimes I get overwhelmed by that
Sure.
and, getting too much on my plate pretty much.
Okay, can you think of an example in the show that would just personify that beautifully?
Hmm. There has to be something where Fluttershy takes on too much. You think?
Well, Applejack would be an easy one. That's the Applebuck season from season 1.
Of course. I haven't seen those in so long. I'm so out of it right now. What is wrong with
No,
what time?
That's
That would
and
be one.
and I know that as of recording this, you haven't seen the Breezy's episode yet, so I won't mention that to you.
No, I have not. I'm behind. I'm behind a couple episodes. I have not seen the Breezy one yet.
I recommend it. It was whimsical.
I also think another scene that would probably work with me is the Iron Will with Fluttershy,
Okay.
where, because when someone needs something, I can't say no kind of thing, and she couldn't say no, and then she finally learned how. So I am learning how to say no.
Just don't start rhyming and yelling, because that's where it gets...
No, I won't do that.
Maybes are for babies! Back of the line where you belong! Uh, I admit it fully. Iron Will's one of my favorite characters. I really, really like him.
He is pretty cool.
And I almost see... it's so difficult to see any... Artwork is easy enough to find, though rare. But I never see plushies or sculpts or anything of Iron Will.
I think I've seen a while ago. I think I've seen one sculpture of him from like a while back, but I can't remember where. It was probably on DeviantArt somewhere, but I think I've seen one sculpture of him. But there is not a lot of art of like the other characters like that. I mean, there's the Derpy and Lyra and stuff and Bonza and like those kind of characters, but you don't see a lot of Iron Will kind of stuff.
No, and I have seen one Awizodl plush, the Daring Do It Me.
Yeah,
And
that was awesome. I saw that one too.
And that artist flat out said never again.
I would say that looks so hard. I would be like, okay, this is the one and only.
Yes.
So
and to be honest, if somebody did make something Iron Will, I think balance would be a difficult thing because he has really itty bitty legs and a massive torso.
Yeah. That would make a sculpture very, very unbalanced.
Unless we do the part where he's like leaning up against Fluttershy's fence as though it were a wrestling ring.
Yeah. that would hold him up.
I'll add that to my list of things to purchase once I have a lot of money. A Fluttershy, or no, an Iron Will, possibly both. Why not? Are there any huge projects coming up that you're able to talk about? I mean, we mentioned the Scootaloo skidding out.
Yes. Well, that one I'm hoping to be done with this week.
Okay.
And I actually just got 2 more commissions from someone who are going to be much larger than my normal sculptures. He wanted them on a 5-inch base instead of on a 3-inch. And of course, I like accepting challenge, like we already talked about. I can't say no. So I accepted his offer. And so you're going to be seeing 2 very large stallion sculptures, hopefully that I'm going to be working on this week sometime. One is going to be sitting, so it won't be overly complicated.
Right.
And the other one is going to be kicking. So
are these 2 related? I mean, I can try to guess.
Oh, it's the same pony. He just wanted 2 different poses of it. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. It's his OC, but he couldn't decide between the sitting and the kicking, so he just went with both of them.
Heck, that works. Absolutely fine. Sure.
That's fine with me. Yeah. I would love to do that.
Yeah, sure. Double. I can do that. Yes.
I definitely am doing it right now.
The greatest meme to ever occur for anybody who sells things is that little girl. Why not both?
Yeah.
I can't decide which of the main 6 I want. Why not all 6?
Yeah. I'm hoping to. I have a list. I have like a really long list. I think right now, currently, my list has 37 canon show ponies on it. And I'm hoping to get all of those sculpted within a year because, again, I'm hoping to be able to go to BronyCon next year. Not this year, but next year. So I'm hoping to get a table and be able to have a bunch of sculptures and stuff to sell. So I have a big list, a long list. And ponies that are on that list are, of course, Lauren Fawcett's OC and Wildfire. So I'm hoping to get, those kind of ponies done.
Sure.
And sculpted. I have a couple like skeletons made, but just with the commissions and stuff.
Oh
I've
yeah,
been trying to get those done first, but those will definitely be in between projects.
I see. Okay. Huh. There again, I won't ruin it for you, but the most recent episode, some pony to watch over me. New ponies occurred at the very end, and I think it would be interesting to see those.
My will get longer.
I don't know. I'm not sure there'll be a lot of requests for it. I'm just saying it would be interesting to see. But
I have not seen the Breezy episode myself,
okay.
which I'm gonna try to watch it tonight or tomorrow.
Mhm.
But I have already seen some Breezy art, and I see that they're small little ponies with big wings, and I'm already thinking about trying to sculpt one.
That would be a challenge. We're talking
I
really wispy limbs and
Yeah,
antenna.
yeah, I know. I take in way too much than I can handle. I see something and I'm like, yes, let's do it, and I just don't stop until I get somewhat close to
Mhm.
it.
Hopefully that doesn't. Don't push too hard. Don't hurt yourself.
Hopefully.
Well, everybody, today we have been speaking with M, who's known as EmR0304, who is the next RoboCop robot, actually.
Yep, that's me.
Yeah, all right, that was a terrible joke, and I apologize.
It's okay.
Thank you so much for coming by and speaking with us today.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Everybody be sure to check her out on DeviantArt. And do you have a Twitter or Tumblr?
I have a Tumblr.
Okay.
I post my commissions and work in progress pictures and stuff there. And I have a Facebook page, and I post my work in progress and my completed works on that as well.
Okay.
So yeah, and DeviantArt. So that's the
Okay.
four that I have.
Everybody be sure to check her out on DeviantArt and the other sites. And yeah, again, thank you very much. And Commissioner!
Thank you. Thank you.
Everyone, this has been Into the Spotlight with Osaka Jack on Everfree Network. We'll catch you next time.